I'm Rich Lieberman. It's a Monday. The headline says it all. I don't care. I got an email from a couple of people, one this morning and a few others a couple days ago. And well, the one this morning was significant. We're talking to you on a Monday. And it said, I would think, I'm not going to mention the person's name because you don't have to know. But they said, in radio discussions, I think that's some kind of a chat group. They said, would have thought that they would have mentioned that you returned, and they didn't. That's the emailer telling me. And I said, yeah, that'll be the day. See, folks, I don't care, meaning they don't like me because I'm not Peter Pan. I'm not Mary Poppins. I take this very seriously. And I'm not going to be all cheery eyed, and I'm not going to go out with pom poms and do all the funny and good stuff and be positive just to be positive. When I say I don't care the fact they hate me, they being the various media tools here, because they hate the fact that I regularly tell you what they don't want you to know. And they're pissed because they want me to be cheery eyed. They want me to be positive. And I'm not going to be positive and I'm not going to be cheery eyed because I don't have to be. I have every now and then pointed out and plugged people and organizations, whether it's TV or radio, whatever, who I think have done good jobs. I'll continue to do that. But I'm not going to just say, oh, happy me, to say, oh, happy me. It has nothing to do with, what do you call it? Plugs, or I'm trying to think of a certain word. Clicks. Even if I can generate a ton of money, I'm not going to say something that I don't feel. I really am not going to do that. And I'm not going to say it sanctimoniously, like I owe you my honest to God feelings, but that's what I'm here for, to give you an honest portrayal, to be frank, as I've always stated I will be. And now, especially after what I've been going through, continue to go through with my own health and all that, I'm not going to do Mr. Positive simply for the sake of being Mr. Positive. I don't care that they didn't note that I'm back. That's not what I'm here. Oh, look, I'm not going to lie to you. To be acknowledged, to be seen, to be credited, that kind of a thing. We all want some degree of acceptance. I don't need that here in the Bay Area. It's a pile of manure. Sad to say, but that's the truth. I'll say it as many times as I've said it before. It's embarrassing. Like I said yesterday or last week, it really is embarrassing. The people that they have on the air here, whether it's radio, we really don't have any radio, or television, the mediocrity pool is getting bigger and bigger. Boy, they wish they could be mediocre, but I don't care anymore. I'm not in a popularity contest. I say it and tell it like it is. You can believe it, you can not believe it, you can agree, you can disagree, what have you. I'm just here to give you my 2 cents. It's not a pretty picture. And I'm not going to change simply for the sake of being, again, positive. That's not my mojo. I don't roll that way. I give you what I think and is an honest assessment of what is happening. I can't stand Channel 2 anymore. I've discovered late, but I've discovered how pathetic Channel 7 has become with their Disney-esque personification now, the crapola that Channel 7 has become with different reporters every day. The fact that Disney just treats people like crap. And they have these people on the air, have no business being on the air, even though it's terrestrial television and all that. The more and more I watch Channel 7, which is very sparing, how sad it's become. KPIX, it's there. I don't watch my network television. I'll watch the news. Most of the time, if I'm watching news, I'm watching CNN. Not because I'm in love with CNN, it's because of the fact that they're generally okay. I'm sick of their breaking news, breaking news. They've cheapened that. Legit breaking news should be dealt with and treated as if it's breaking news. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. They're trying to get an audience. They're just suffering. They cannot win at all at CNN. And anyway, that's another broadcast. But when I say I don't care what they think of me here in the Bay Area because I'm not here to make friends. Okay. I'm not here to make friends. I don't really care for a majority of the people. And like, I've said in the past, look, I'm not perfect myself, but I've said to you guys many a times, I am who I am. I don't claim to be anybody other than what I project to do. So, therefore, give me the benefit of the doubt in that instance. Most of these people I've met, I know about, and they're insufferable as it is. So, when I rip them, it's ripping them as they should be because they're awful. You want to lambaste me for saying that? Go ahead. I'm not trying to not enable you to do what you want to do. Go ahead. I'm public about it. I don't hide behind anonymity postings and all that. I say what is on my mind. I've looked at these people. They're insufferable louts. They claim to be some, iota of journalistic integrity. Give me a break. They basically wanted me silenced. Many of them still do, because I tell it like it is to you guys, and they don't want you to know that. Even in outdated forms on which they report, whether it's radio or television, the internet, or they write or scribble for a living at SF Gate or, SF Standard, which is a pile of crap. The SF Standard. What an absolute waste. Oh, we're supposed to be really pleased and happy because it looks so pretty. It's got nice graphics and has all these wonderful journalists. No, it's a bunch of retreads that got hired because they had no other alternatives. And they got lucky because some multi-billionaire wanted to put together something called the SF Standard. Again, I'll center on the SF Standard in a future, God willing, a future broadcast and tell you what a bunch of phony assholes they are. My point is, I'm not going to give you rosy. I'm not going to give you cheerful. I'm not going to go on and on and on and on because I don't care if it's all negative. It should be positive, but it isn't. It should be not always negative, but it is. I can't help that. And I think a lot of you folks out there appreciate this. Folks, believe me, if I was trying to win attention, if I was trying to kiss somebody's ass, if I was trying to project clicks, I'd be Mr. Happy Go Lucky. But I'd also be doing a tremendous disservice to you folks. So if they don't acknowledge me in radio discussions, fine, I don't care. Well, you might be saying, well, you're talking about it. I'm talking about it because I want to let you know. I just got an email today from somebody who I really like, by the way, person who's followed me and told me about various things, kind of a kind of a source, not really a source, but lets me know about stuff, keeps me informed when I'm not. And not to sound, what's the word? It's a certain word that I want to use. Hedonistic. That's not the word, but I can do this and I'm not beholden to special interests. I can be frank, I can be authentic in how I feel and tell you the truth. It may not be pleasant, it may not be wonderful and Mary Poppins and Peter Panish, but you know what I can say? It's my frank assessment. It's the truth, or at least what I think is the truth, and not to give you BS and crap. I'm not going to do that to win off clicks. It wouldn't work anyway. I hate these people. Personally, some of them are pretty decent. I'm not out again to win friends. I don't need their love or their whatever. Oh boy, you were so nice today. I don't need that. I don't. I'd rather be truthful to you guys. I'd rather give you what is my frank assessment, as I keep saying, because I know that I'm not acquiescing. I know that I'm not, what's the word? Again, another word that I'm trying to think of, and it's hard to do that. I'm not being pretty and nice just to be pretty and nice. I hate to be, well, I don't hate to be. It's somewhat unfortunate, I guess, that you guys see me and you think, oh, what's he going to complain about today? Folks, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. I'm my own engine. I go to my own drummer kind of a thing. I admit I'm a little more reserved than a lot of these folks are. And I don't give a damn what they say about me. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to be authentic and to give you an honest feeling. That's all. And I see the crapola that they put out there and the shit that you got to have to migrate through. Oh my God, is it bad? You know, and do I ask for donations on this site? Hell yeah. Everybody else is billionaires, even. Absolutely, because that's how I grow, so to speak. That's how I continue to be able to do this kind of a thing, assuming you want to hear it or watch it. And if you don't, nobody put a gun to your head and say you got to watch Rich. I'd like for that to be the case, but I also like the fact that you can agree to disagree. You can disagree with me many a times. You can agree with me many a times. I'm not everybody's cup of tea myself. Okay. Don't like me? Don't watch me. You want to complain? Get a blog or a vlog or whatever the hell you migrate to and say shit about me. Oh, I know it's done behind closed doors and whispered. That's the thing that drives me crazy is at least I'm public. And folks, I know, trust me, hate that word, but 2 words. They talk about me behind closed doors. They can't stand the fact of acknowledging me. Why? Because they know people watch me now. They know people read me in the past. And they hate to acknowledge me because they know that you guys watch the show. They know, and I'm sort of tabooish. I talk to various people and I tell them, you don't have to be seen with me in public. Of course, the last 4.5 months, you didn't have any option. I've been in purgatory health wise. But I understand the deal. And I'm not going to just spout off sweet nothings for the sake of sweet nothings. I don't work that way. When I say I don't care, I truly can honestly say with all my heart and soul that everything is based upon how I feel. It's not always going to be positive. In fact, most of the time it's going to be quite negative, but that's me. I'm sort of like, critical, overly critical. So be it. That's the way I roll. I don't care if it's a woman or a man or a young guy, old guy, black, white, Jew, Christian, Buddha, Muslim, Asian. If I don't like it, I'm going to say so. Just assuming it's worthy of discussion, that kind of a thing. So, for the person who sent me the email, thanks for letting me know. They're not going to acknowledge me. They're not going to mention me that I'm back. You know why? They hate it. They can't stand it. They just as soon bury me. They just as soon that I wasn't around to call them out for the less than mediocrity that they put out. And as long as I'm here, I'm going to continue to do what I do. And I'm going to continue to give you what many of you come here for. And that is a feeling, not always popular, but at least it's out there and it's real.